Hi everyone, how you doing? It's Paul here from Unusual Things. Now I've just come on to make this video at the start because when I was doing this video that you're going to see very shortly on Gus Dudgeon, I made an intro, but for some reason it disappeared off my camera. That day I had a whole weird load of stuff happening to me whilst filming. So there is no intro per se, no me saying hello and welcome and all that sort of stuff. It just literally goes into me talking about Gus. So I just want to tell you a little bit about Gus before the main part. He was a record producer. He worked with the likes of Elton John, David Bowie, citied, so many more people. So it's a really interesting story, and he had a real untimely, sad death as well, which I will explain as we go through the video. Anyway, just wanted to come on and make you aware, because in case you're wondering where I am walking around going, oh, hello, I'm here today, blah, 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 blah. Also, I still have some of these new beanies left. If anyone wants one, I've got about 7 left, I think. They're £22. If I sell out, then obviously I will order some more. I just wanted to test the water, see if you guys like them. That's them there. Yeah, so let me know. If you do, contact me and I'll tell you how you can order one and I'll get one sent out to you, etc. £22 each there. Anyway, enjoy the video. Please leave your comments. And of course, if you like it, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. And I'll see you all in a minute in the video. I get wet as well. It's raining. I can feel the pity coming from, yeah, I can feel it.
Angus Boyd Gus Dudgeon, 30th of September 1942 to the 21st of July 2002, was an English record producer who oversaw many of Elton John's most acclaimed recordings. Angus Boyd Dudgeon was born on the 30th of September 1942 in Woking, Surrey. After being expelled from school, Dudgeon regularly attended reunions and actively supported the school. Shortly before his death, he recounted how after leaving school he was fired from a number of jobs in quick succession because I used to get bored and would leave without telling them. Sounds familiar. I worked in a toy store. I sold purple hearts on the streets of London, £1 for 100. At the urging of producers Denny Caudle and Andrew Loog Oldham, Dudgeon moved into production, setting up Tuesday Productions in 1968. 2 years later, he began working with Elton John, who had heard of Dudgeon's work on the as yet unreleased Space Oddity. Their first collaboration was Your Song, with Dudgeon elaborating the simple piano tune and adding an orchestral arrangement by Paul Buckmaster. It reached the US top 10, becoming John's first substantial hit and kick-starting one of the most successful artist-producer pairings of all time, with Dudgeon guiding John throughout the decade and launching such blockbuster albums as Madman Across the Water, Honky Chateau Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, and Captain Fantastic and the Brown Dirty Cowboy. Elton John trusted Dudgeon's production instincts to the point that the artist often left the studio after the piano and vocal tracks were laid down, leaving Dudgeon to create that unique synthesis of orchestral, pop and Americana that defined many of John's best recordings. The producer helped to make John the most successful singles artist of the 1970s and number 2 on the album charts behind Elvis Presley. Dudgeon and Elton John formed the Rocket Record Company and put out successful releases for Neil Sedaka and Kiki D. However, Dudgeon was sometimes critical of his and Elton John's work and is quoted in Elizabeth Rosenthal's His Song, The Musical Journey of Elton John, as slamming 1974 Caribou, which he produced, saying that the sound is the worst, the song's nowhere, the sleeve came out wrong, the lyrics weren't that good, the singing wasn't all there, the playing wasn't great, and the production is just plain lousy. Dudgeon and Elton John parted company in 1976, reuniting in 1985 to produce 3 more albums together. After leaving Decca, where he had been an engineer on David Bowie's debut, Dudgeon produced Bowie's Space Oddity in 1969. Tony Visconti agreed to produce the album but not the single, which he regarded as a novelty tune and suggested Dudgeon do it instead. He went on to produce Michael Chapman's first 3 albums, Rainmaker 1969, Fully Qualified Surveyor 1970 and Wrecked Again 1971. Each of these albums features string arrangements by Buckmeister. His production of John Congo's hit He's Gonna Step on You Again 1971 used a tape loop of African tribal drumming. The Guinness Book of Records recognised him as the first person to use sampling in music production. He was also credited by David Bowie as the voice of the gnome on The Laughing Gnome. In 1972, Dudgeon produced Joan Armatrading's Joan Armitage, I can never say her name, anyway, debut, whatever, for US, written by Armitage and her then collaborator Pam Nestor. He also produced 2 singles for the duo, Lonely Lady and Together in Words and Music. Both tracks were later added to the remastered CD of the Whatever's Frost album 2001. He also produced 2 highly successful albums for Alki Brooks, Pearls and Pearls 2, the former peaking at number 2 and remaining in the UK albums charts for 79 weeks. In 1980, Dudgeon started working with Mary Wilson and the Supremes on her second solo album. 4 songs were recorded and produced, including a cover of Creedence Clearwater Revival's Green River. Ultimately, Motown Records dropped Wilson's contract and the masters were returned to her, the first time the company had ever done so. They were released in 2021 on Mary Wilson Expanded Edition. On the 21st of July 2002, Dudgeon and his wife Sheila died when their Jaguar veered off the M4 between Reading and Maidenhead. The inquest recorded a verdict of accidental death, noting that he was intoxicated and had possibly fallen asleep at the wheel while driving. While in excess of the speed limit, he and his wife both suffered severe head injuries, were trapped in the car which landed in a storm drain and may have drowned. So there's all the information there on Gus Dudgeon. Why I look like a drowned rat. Go on, laugh, I know you are. I know you're at home, sat there watching your monitor or in your car watching your phone, just laughing at how wet I am. Anyway, you got to laugh. You have, otherwise you will cry and go mental. Yes, so that's all the information there. What a sad ending, but what a career as well, you know, to have done so much work with Elton John and co-produced so many songs, and with Bowie as well, you know, and all the names that I said whilst reading out the information there. It's always sad, isn't it, when people come to an ending like that, but hey, you go drink driving, you know, never never. But it's just a shame that obviously such a talent and such a talented person had to go and do that. Not only killing himself, killing his wife as well. Don't do it, mate, don't do it. Anyway, we'll have a quick look around and we'll try and find where his grave is at. Now, I think I saw a picture of it online somewhere, and I've got a rough idea of what the actual headstone looks like. However, trying to find it is like a standard needle in a haystack. But we'll continue looking. So you just sit at home, carry on watching. I'll walk around in the wet for a little bit longer, alright? I'll see you in a minute. Yeah, still raining. Anyway. I think I found it. Certain I found it. Here we go. To Gus and Sheila Dudgeon, 21st July 2002, 20 years ago, man, well 21 years this year. To live in the hearts of those we love is not to die. That looks like a planchette from a Ouija board, look. That's very strange. So then we have the final resting place of Gus and of course his wife Sheila. You know, it's hard because of how they died, isn't it? But Gus, thank you so much for what you brought to the music industry. Phenomenal with the music that you helped Elton John produce. Amazing, you know. But why put yourself in that circumstance? Why drink driving? It drives me nuts. I hate it. Anyway, thank you, Gus. Bless you and bless Sheila. I hope wherever you are now you're at peace. It's sad. It is sad because, you know, what a talent. And then just goes and throws it all away. Or I'll have a few beers and get in the car. Don't do it. You don't do it. Not only did he kill himself, killed his wife. Who else could have been killed on that evening? You know, and what a horrible way to go. The car turns over, possibly drowning, because you're trapped in a car. No, thank you very much. Anyway, but a very talented man. We can't, you know, however his circumstances of dying were, he was a very talented man to produce such great music with such great artists as well. You know, and those of you like me who like your music will respect that, and will give acknowledgement to that. Anyway, from wherever I am in Surrey, because I can't remember the name of the cemetery, still the same from the start, I can't remember the name, I'll put it on the screen. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you know, if you're a big fan of any of the music that Gus has produced, then again, leave me a comment down below, please. And yeah, another one ticked off the list on this beautiful, sunny, dry day, winter's day in England, where it just chucks it down with rain. You know, don't you? Anyway, I'll shut up. I'll see you all on the next one. Take it easy.